Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you some big news regarding Jack Grealish, also going to be giving you the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. Do you think he's going to stay or do you think he's going to leave Manchester United this summer? So that is debatable. And also, I'm going to be giving you an update of what, Ed Woodward has come out and said, because he has been talking, saying, that he is going to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he does believe, we have the foundations for long-term success with Solskjaer, despite the fall in revenues, and I still believe our debt is rising in that. And Ed Woodward did confirm that for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to remain in charge at Manchester United, he has got to, win trophies, because he's not yet won any trophies since he got recommended in. There's a chance that we can win some trophies this season. We can win the Europa League, we can also win the FA Cup, and he also said, we do need to play attractive football. So they're the stuff, that Ed Woodward has come out with. But I'm going to now start, with the news regarding Jack Grealish. So, according to reports, Manchester United have stepped their interest up in Jack Grealish. Reportedly, want to finalise around a £45 million deal for him by the end of the week. The main explanation for this is to stop his fee rising after Euro 2020, because there has been reports emerging out saying that he's going to make his England debut this year is Jack Grealish. Now, Manchester United have been relentlessly linked with him. Realistically, it could be our first signing in the summer, and obviously, if Solskjaer is still to be here in the summer transfer window, he will be, our sixth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and also our first signing in the summer. Now, of course, don't forget, back in the summer of 2018, Tottenham went in for him. They put around the £25 million bidding for him, but the deal didn't materialise. But Manchester United have been relentlessly linked with Jack Grealish. We've been relentlessly linked with the player, and I think, he's keen on making a move to Manchester United this summer, is the player. Obviously we saw Chelsea do it with Hakim Ziyech. They obviously confirmed the signing of him, recently, and he's going to join Chelsea in the summer. But we are seeing Jack Grealish as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Now, obviously, I was reading reports the other week, and he did actually, say if Villa are to avoid relegation this season, Jack Grealish could cost us a substantial £80 million. But I do believe he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United, would Jack Grealish. He's well proven in the Premier League. Up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. I think he did actually have a loan spell with Notts County, and he's still got a contract with Villa until 2023 as Jack Grealish. But his release clause is around £45 million. He is predominantly an attacking midfielder, but occasionally, he can play Jack Grealish as a winner. So that's the big news, coming out regarding him. So we could sign Jack Grealish in the summer and that. The news regarding Paul Pogba. Now, we have had some news regarding, his injury update. This is from Paul Pogba's perception. He's come out and said that, he is close to returning from injury. Solskjaer, came out prior to the first leg against Club Brugge and, said his return is not imminent. And Solskjaer did say, Paul Pogba may never play for Manchester United again. But I'm very convinced, he will play for the football club again. And he did say, Solskjaer, he isn't even close to returning. Now, Robin Van Persie's come out and, he's basically said that Solskjaer and Paul Pogba, should have a joint interview, to clarify his future, because, we don't know what's happening with Paul Pogba. I know not too long ago he did tell our teammates that he will be leaving the football club in the summer. If Paul Pogba does leave this summer, I think he'll either go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, he will make a return back to Turin, because he did endure 4 good years in Turin, did Paul Pogba. But the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison. Obviously, we've quoted out what we want for Paul Pogba in the summer, and I think, we said want around 150 million. Don't forget, Real Madrid come out the other week and, they only valued Paul Pogba at £50 million. So that's 3 times less than what we paid. That's 3 times less, than, what we're currently demanding. It's £39 million less than what we paid for Pogba, because like I mentioned, we did pay £89 million for him. The only main explanation why he hasn't played a lot this season is due to his injuries. He's only played around 8 games this season and hasn't played since Boxing Day, and hasn't started a game for us since September as Pogba. So yeah, his appearances have been limited in that. But I think it's over a month ago now since he did have the surgery on his ankle. But I think the earliest we are looking at Paul Pogba being back is for the Manchester derby on the 8th of March. So, and we know obviously his agent Mini Raiola has also been talking. Obviously, Gary Neville's been critical of him. Solskjaer's been critical of him. The things he was saying the other week regarding Pogba. Saying like he's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property. He's likely to leave Manchester United in the summer if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. And these are the stuff, that Mini Raiola was coming out and saying. I don't know if he's had any negotiations with Pogba. I don't know if he's had any negotiations with Solskjaer's Mini Raiola and that. But these are some of the stuff he was coming out and saying. Pogba's into the final year of his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it by a further year. But I said, didn't I, Paul Pogba is still an imperative player, but if we can get Grealish in, and maybe if we can get James Maddison in, then we can afford to let Paul Pogba go. Because, it'll free up our wage bill, getting rid of Paul Pogba, because he's one of the highest paid players, and plus will generate a substantial amount for his departure. But he doesn't want to be at Manchester United anyway, does Paul Pogba. So that's the latest news regarding him. I'll be keeping you up to date, with the latest news regarding Jadon Sancho. He's also another summer transfer target for Manchester United. Jadon Sancho, he's going to cost us at least £100 million. Some people say maybe we need Champions League qualification to get Jadon Sancho in on the board. Because obviously, we've been relentlessly linked to him. Also, Chelsea are in for him. Liverpool have expressed their interest. I don't see how he'd suit Liverpool's system because you wouldn't, be guaranteed to get in the team week in, week out. But at Man United, he'd obviously, get his chances with Jadon Sancho. And he did say the other week we was prepared to offer him a contract worth around £200,000 a week. So that means he would be one of the highest paid players. And Duncan Castles came out the other day, don't forget. And he tends to be reliable, does Duncan Castle. He's very, very close to Man United. And he said due to the developments of Chelsea and Liverpool, Old Trafford is the only option for him this summer. And Sky in Germany even confirmed that Jadon Sancho is going to be likely to leave Borussia Dortmund this summer and that. But it still remains uncertain, where his next destination will be. But I'd love Jadon Sancho at Manchester United, definitely. So he's another player on our agenda. So say we got Grealish in and we got Sancho in, that'd cost us around between 140 or 150 million pounds. That's if we can get Grealish in, by the end of the week, if we can confirm the signing of him. Because we can't wait until after the Euros, because obviously, then we're going to have to pay more money for Jack Grealish and that. But yeah, so that's your latest news on all of them topics like I've just mentioned. Manchester United have had a lot of injuries this season, but that's not excusable for how inconsistent we've been. Like I mentioned, we've still got Pogba out. Marcus Rashford, of course, is out. I think he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Solskjaer did confirm Rashford's going to be out for at least the next couple of months with this back injury, because his back injury is more severe than what we first initially thought. But, Rashford has been one of our best players this season. Of course, the good news is, though, Bay's just recently come back from injury. Tuanzebe and Fosu Mensah are now back in training, so they're stepping up their fitness regime. Also, too, Lee Grant is injured. Luke Shaw was injured earlier on in the season. I think since Luke Shaw's come back from injury, he's done really, really well. Martial, has had a few injuries this season. So, Manchester United have had a lot of injuries, and I think, it has had a bad effect on us. But surprisingly, we are still in that top four race. Despite the fact that we've enjoyed our worst start ever to the Premier League era, we are still in that top four race. So that just indicates how poor, a lot of the teams have been in the Premier League this season. And to be fair, we are in a good run of form now. We've won our last 2 Premier League games. We've kept a clean sheet in our last 3 Premier League games, and we are only sitting 3 points behind top 4. 5th place is a Champions League spot, as we all know now, reflecting on Manchester City's ban. But, it would still be good for Manchester United to finish in that top four and that. And I think if we can recruit the right players in the summer, if we can get around 3 or 4 signings in, then I think, we can possibly, challenge for the title going on into next season and that. But going on into next season, if Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager, he'll have of course, many expectations to exceed. But as it stands now, he's got many expectations to exceed because there was reports coming out a couple of weeks ago. Basically saying, if Manchester United don't finish within the top 6 this season, and, we fail to qualify for Europe, then it's likely that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked as Manchester United manager in that. But some people have different perceptions on it. Some people, would give him another season, and some people, would say, get rid of him at the end of the season and recommend a new manager in either, Mauricio Pochettino or Massimiliano Allegri. I think one of them are likely to take over if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to be sacked as Manchester United manager. But, Manchester United are not really known for a sacking football club. We've already, despite the fact that we've already sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. Of course, we sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and of course, we sacked Jose Mourinho. So it's not always the right solution, persistently sacking managers and that. No, it isn't. But revert back to what I said. If we can now go on a good run of form until the end of the season and we can get into that top 4, then I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, probably will be given another season at Manchester United, definitely. But like I mentioned, Ed Woodward's backing him. But like I've mentioned before, there's not only problems with the management at the club. There's also problems, the way that the club's been run for several years. There's doubts about the club's ownership because the Glazers have been generating a lot of money out of the club since they took over in 2005. Problems with Ed Woodward. Obviously, we've got a lot of problems with the board, because I've got a lot of element of concerns about our board. And I do believe there will be players that will be leaving Manchester United in the summer. More players will leave. So some of the players that do leave in the summer, we are going to generate some money for, some of their departures. Already, a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. I think around 9 senior players have left the football club since his arrival and that. And reflect on some of the players that did leave, we have generated some money for their departures and that. But like I mentioned, so far Solskjaer has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at Manchester United and he has spent £220 million. Last summer brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And obviously in January he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in and that. But obviously now Manchester United are looking to build on that because there's still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. I was reading reports the other week and it says Solskjaer was going to get a spending spree of around £274 million to spend in the team. I've said to you, Man United need a couple of forwards, we need a right winger, we need a left back, we possibly need a centre half, we need a couple of midfielders. But we have got to, get the right calibre players in the summer if, we are to be future title contenders and that. Because I think we've made a lot of mistakes. Man United have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. It's not the only explanation, but it's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. I think the club made a mistake by not getting a director of football in last summer. Because if we'd have got that director of football in, then Ed Woodward could have moved away from the footballing decisions. There's some players over the years, that we shouldn't have got rid of, realistically. We shouldn't have got rid of Lukaku last summer, but we did. Looking at it from a financial point of view, though, I'm happy with the money, we generated from his departure because we got 70-odd million. We shouldn't let Herrera go, and we should have definitely, not let his contract run down. Minimum, we should have cashed in for Herrera. Like I mentioned, Ferguson made a mistake by recommending David Moyes in. I think, we also made a mistake by giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently. But the main explanation why we give Solskjaer the job permanently is reflecting on, what he did when he was the interim manager. Because he did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and that. But I think overall, in the first place, Solskjaer was very, very lucky to get the job as the interim manager. And now, of course, he has got around 2 years left on his current deal. And he has been here now over the year. He's been here around 14 months, or is it 15 months? And he's been permanent manager now. Is it 11 months, or is it a year now? Solskjaer has been permanent Manchester United manager. But I think my element of concerns about Solskjaer is that he's too inexperienced as a manager. He's been tactically naive for the vast majority of this season. He has no plan A. He doesn't really have a plan B. But on the other hand, in some games this season, Solskjaer has got it right, to be fair. I thought he was a great player for the club for 11 years, so I praise him for that. And he's got that proven pedigree as a player, but I just think as a manager, Solskjaer, he's definitely not too inexperienced. Without a shadow of a doubt and that. And obviously, we've got games coming up thick and fast. Bruges tomorrow. By the way, the Bruges preview will be coming up very, very soon. It's Bruges tomorrow in the Europa League, last 32, second leg at Old Trafford. Be interesting to see how he approaches that game. Solskjaer won't take any risks. And, we've got Everton on Sunday, another hard game. Derby coming up in the Cup, City coming up in the league again. So, like Solskjaer said, we will be rotating a lot with the games that are coming up, and that definitely. But difficult games are coming up for Manchester United. Difficult games are coming up. Like I said, we want to win the Europa League. I think we emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League, because we did win it back in 2017 under Mourinho. So we are emerged as one of the favourites to win it. It'd also be very, very nice to win the FA Cup. So, yeah, we have got quite a few ambitions, definitely, in that. But like I said, at the moment, Liverpool are strides ahead of us, City are strides ahead of us, and I said, it's going to take some time, for us to get, to their levels. But take into account, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Obviously, he's inheriting the vast majority of the players that Jose Mourinho brought in. There's still players here from the Van Gaal era, there's still Matty here from the David Moyes era. I think there's still a couple of players here from the Alex Ferguson era and that. And Solskjaer believes if he's given the right amount of time, he can emulate into next year. And Klopp, I don't see that happening. He definitely won't invoke Ferguson's legacy at the football club. But on the other hand, it doesn't matter what manager we've got. I don't think, they'll invoke Ferguson's legacy at Manchester United. They will not do this. But like I've said, a lot of money's been spent at Manchester United in the last 6 or 7 years. We've spent, nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in. Not only that, we've got like the highest wage bill in the Premier League, and we're not in that commanding position that we should be in. But I said, didn't I, at the start of this season, our expectations this season would have been to finish in that top 4 and probably, get some silverware on the board and that. But it is a transition period for Man United, and like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. Similar sort of thing with Arsenal. They're on their third manager this season with Arteta. It's a transition period for them. You've got Everton on their third manager this season and that. So quite a few teams are in a similar sort of situation to us. West Ham have got a lot of problems. They're facing a relegation battle. But so it has been very, very poor in the Premier League this season. It's one of the main explanations why, Liverpool are going to blitz the league. City have been nowhere near as good, this season as there was in the past 2 seasons. I think they've lost as many games this season. They've lost as many games this season of Manchester City. They've lost more games this season than in the last 2 seasons combined. So they haven't been great this season of Manchester City in that. So it's one of the main reasons why Liverpool have blitzed the league. But I think these players, that have flourished under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be fair, like I mentioned, Martial's in very, very good form. 3 goals in his last 3 games. I know a lot of people are saying he should be reverted back to the left-hand side because that's his predominant position, is that left-hand side. And maybe we will, I don't know. But, this season he's been playing in that number 9, but it isn't his predominant position. Rashford's done very, very well. A lot of aspects of his game have improved since Solskjaer came in. Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Scoring against Watford at the weekend. That was his first goal for Manchester United, also getting an assist. Bruno Fernandes now has got 2 assists for Man United because he got an assist for Harry Maguire's against Chelsea. And, Solskjaer basically said Bruno Fernandes has got the X factor. And, he's very instrumental. His decision-making is very, very good. And I think he makes the difference in our team, does Bruno Fernandes. And I think he's the key to our rebuilding process under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that. So basically, we want to build a team around him, Bruno Fernandes. As long as we keep Bruno Fernandes in his predominant position, I think, Manchester United, will be, alright. If he was to put him as a holding midfielder, that's when Bruno Fernandes could become a liability. But I've been, very impressed with him. Mason Greenwood's also done very, very well. Scoring at the weekend against Watford. That's his 5th goal in the Premier League, his 11th goal in total in all competitions this season. I was surprised at the decision of Solskjaer starting Greenwood because he seldom starts in the Premier League, to be honest with you. But, he did play really, really well. He's an option at the right, and you can also put him in the number 9. Solskjaer did say, in the next couple of years, he probably, will be our complete number 9 striker, Greenwood, only the age of 18. So he's done really, really well. Fred's done well. He's also rejuvenated himself. Never really got his opportunities under Mourinho, but since Solskjaer's come in, he's improved a lot. I think, Williams has done well. It's also his first season in the senior squad. He's our first choice now ahead of Luke Shaw. So yeah, quite a lot of players have flourished under Solskjaer's guidance. James had a good game against Watford, but in the last month or so prior to the Watford game, he hasn't been at his best. Solskjaer has been overplaying him. And Wan-Bissaka, he's done very, very well. Solskjaer is delighted that he has seen the attacking side of Wan-Bissaka's game. Maguire's done very, very well at centre-half. Man United did make the right decision by giving him the captaincy. Obviously, reflecting on, Young's departure, this is why we give Harry Maguire the captaincy and that. So, yeah, I've been very, very impressed with them. Obviously, we need to get rid of players in the summer. Obviously, there's been reports coming out today as well, saying that, we're thinking about getting rid of Lingard and Pereira this summer, generate funds for their departures, and obviously, put them funds on Jack Grealish. The two liabilities are Lingard and Andres Pereira. They have been so inconsistent. Of course, Andres Pereira's been up playing far too much this season, but I think that's only due to the injury of McTominay. Now McTominay's back, like I forgot to mention earlier, Pereira won't get his chances. Lingard, he's had his chances this season, but he just hasn't exceeded expectations in that. And reflecting on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. So I think they are definitely two players that Manchester United do need to get rid of, without a shadow of a doubt. Jones needs to be moved on. Matic probably needs to be moved on, even though he's recently rejuvenated himself. Some people believe Matic is a better option than McTominay. I don't agree on that. Chon may be moved on, and Gomez, because they have had the chances, but they haven't had a lot of chances. Their appearances are limited. Yeah, so these still around 4 or 5 players I would get rid of this summer. Odion Ighalo has not yet made his full debut for Manchester United, but he's going to do his Odion Ighalo. He's made 3 substitute appearances so far and that as Odion Ighalo. But he's a good cover-up to Rashford. I'm very, very sceptical that we'll make Odion Ighalo's transfer permanent. But, to be fair, he has done well, when he has come off the bench. There's a couple of occasions where he could have scored. Should have scored against Watford when he came on. Should have scored against Chelsea at the end when he came on. But I think, he's a good... he's an option of a different... He's a different type of striker, isn't he? He's a different sort of option, isn't he? But, yeah. So, yeah, like I mentioned, a lot of players have improved since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, came in. But like I mentioned, Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world with a fantastic history, fantastic fan base. We are the most successful team in England historically, 20 titles, 13 Premier Leagues. And yeah, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world and that. And, we've had so much success up and down the generations. We've had great, players at the club. Obviously, we had Wayne Rooney. He endured 13 years at Man United. Of course, we had, Ryan Giggs, who ended his career with Man United, endured a total of 24 years at the club. We had Carrick, he served 13 years at Man United. Ronaldo endured 6 years at Man United. One of the best teams I've seen of what I know of anyway, we're probably, the team that we had like in 2008, 2009 when we had the likes of Ronaldo, Tevez and Rooney in that. But yeah, and obviously, Solskjaer is looking to buy into our history in that. And I did say I'm hopeful that this team at this day and age can replicate, what the team did under Alex Ferguson. But taking into account, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years, but look what he went and accomplished after, not winning out in his first 4 years at the football club. Look what he basically, went and accomplished and that. But, you know, one of the club's greatest achievements, of course, is from 1999. Of course, when Solsjaker, you know, did win the club, win the, you know, club the treble and that. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so that's 7 years ago now. You know, but yeah, so if we can get the right players in the summer, then I expect us going on to next season to enjoy a better season next season than what we've seen this season. But this season, I thought we'd have done better than last season, you know, to be quite honest with you. But obviously, you know, we've had some good results under Solskjaer, but, you know, we've also had a lot of bad results. Everton's going to be difficult at the weekend. You know, they've got a lot of good players, a lot better under Carlo Ancelotti. So that's another game that's going to be very, very difficult for us. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.